Paul Newman finally breaks silence on deWilde. Paul Newman was born Paul Leonard Newman on January 26, 1925 in Shaker Heights, Ohio. He grew up in a middle-class Jewish family with his father, Arthur Newman, who owned a sporting goods store, and his mother, Teresa Fetzer, who encouraged her son to love the arts. His mother noticed his good looks and natural talent early on and got him involved in theater, signing him up for acting classes when he was still a kid. But Newman's early life wasn't filled with instant fame or money. He grew up during the Great Depression, learning important lessons about working hard, staying humble, and never giving up. Newman's youth was cut short by World War II when he served in the U.S. Navy in the Pacific Theater. After the war, he went to Kenyon College where he studied economics and drama, and later trained at the Yale School of Drama and the Actors Studio in New York City. These years of training gave Newman a strong theater background and a deep respect for acting, which he saw as serious work. Paul Newman's rise to stardom wasn't quick or easy. His early Broadway and television roles got him noticed, but his first major Hollywood films had mixed results. It wasn't until the mid-1950s that Newman began to stand out as a leading man. His breakout role in Somebody Up There Likes Me, 1956, playing boxer Rocky Graziano, showed his ability to combine physical strength with emotional sensitivity. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Newman built an incredible collection of work playing complicated, often rebellious characters. Films such as Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, 1958, The Hustler, 1961, HUD, 1963, and Cool Hand Luke, 1967, showed his range as an actor. Newman brought an unusual mix of toughness and sensitivity to his roles. His famous blue eyes became tools he used to show audiences the inner thoughts of his characters. Despite his huge popularity, Newman had mixed feelings about being a celebrity. He pushed back against the Hollywood star system and avoided promoting himself, often making fun of his own image. He famously said that he felt like a character actor in a leading man's body. As his career went on, Newman continued to take chances. In The Verdict, 1982, he gave one of his most praised performances as a washed-up lawyer looking for redemption. After multiple Oscar nominations, Newman finally won the Academy Award for Best Actor in 1987 for The Color of Money. Beyond acting, Paul Newman pursued his passions with equal seriousness. He was a dedicated race car driver, competing successfully in professional motorsports. Perhaps the most meaningful aspect of Paul Newman's legacy lies in his charity work. In 1982, he co-founded Newman's Own, a food company created with the simple idea of donating all profits to charity. What began small grew into a charitable powerhouse, eventually donating hundreds of millions of dollars to causes ranging from education and healthcare to disaster relief and social justice. Newman's charitable work went further through the creation of the hole-in-the-wall gang camps, which provide life-changing experiences for children with serious illnesses. Newman never tried to make personal profit from these efforts. He saw them as a responsibility rather than an achievement. Paul Newman's personal life was as interesting and human as the characters he brought to the screen. Newman's first marriage began in 1949, when he married Jackie Vita. Their marriage lasted nearly a decade, and together they had 3 children. While the marriage eventually ended in divorce, it represented an important chapter in Newman's life. That understanding would be deeply changed in 1958 when Newman married fellow actor Joanne Woodward, a woman who would become his lifelong companion, creative, equal, and emotional support. Together, they raised 3 daughters and built a family life that was fiercely private, yet deeply loving. Newman often spoke honestly about the challenges of staying faithful and grounded, famously joking that there's no reason to go out for hamburger when you have steak at home. Their marriage lasted an extraordinary 50 years. Through career highs and personal hardships, Newman and Woodward remained steady partners until his death in 2008. For decades, Paul Newman rarely spoke publicly about Brandon deWilde, the talented child, not just because he was talented, but because he was gentle. Newman also addressed the myth that childhood fame guarantees lifelong success. People assume talent protects you, he said. It doesn't. Talent makes you visible, but it doesn't make you safe. In breaking his silence, Newman did not try to rewrite history. Instead, his thoughts served as a quiet tribute. Brandon deWilde mattered, Newman said simply. He mattered as an artist, and he mattered as a human being. For Newman, remembering. deWilde was about acknowledgement of a bright light that shined briefly, yet left a lasting impression. Some people pass through your life for only a moment, he concluded, but they stay with you forever. By early summer 2008, reports began to surface that Paul Newman was facing one final battle. In June, major news outlets revealed that Newman had been diagnosed with lung cancer and was receiving treatment at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City. Newman himself remained characteristically private. It was A.E. Hochner, Newman's closest friend and business partner in Newman's Own, who quietly filled in some details. Newman had been a heavy cigarette smoker for much of his adult life. He finally quit in 1986. On the morning of September 26, 2008, Paul Newman passed away peacefully at his home in Westport, Connecticut. He was 83 years old. Newman was cremated following a small private funeral service attended only by close family and friends. There were no grand public memorials. Just a quiet farewell fitting a man who had always believed that character mattered more than applause.